So Andrew, you mentioned when we were having this chat something about a warm hand.
Yes, I think an expression
and
I
what does
picked
that
up
mean?
earlier in my career, which I use quite frequently, is that it's better to give with a warm hand than a cold hand. And again, it sort of reiterates the point Catherine was making earlier, that actually making gifts during your lifetime gives you some benefit as well, because I think people do feel good about doing that. And whether those gifts are to family or to charities, they can see the benefit of those gifts on their family, on the charity, on the causes that are dear to them and that they're interested in. And I think there is a lot of positive benefit comes to people when they can do that and see the benefit happening during the lifetime. And I think the other thing I always ask clients to think about as well is that the statistics show that I think nearly 90% of all charitable giving goes to the top 10 charities. But many small local charities really struggle, and regular gifts or unsolicited gifts or the odd windfall from a will can make a real big difference to them in terms of, the survival at present and what they can do, and I think the well-being of the trustees that run these organisations. And again, a lot of clients are very willing to take that on board. We actually worked with the Community Foundation to produce a list of all the registered charities in our area so that there was more awareness of what was available. And obviously, for those that don't want to pick and choose between them or have more money, the obvious choice is to go to the Community Foundation to run a fund and help make those decisions and vet out the better applications in the focus areas that people are interested in, whether it's youth or music or a geographic interest in supporting things. And that again is a conversation that I think many clients are very interested in. We've had two quite high net worth individuals up in this area who've done this in a fairly generous way. One who did lifetime giving on a regular basis to help endow a local fund. And during her lifetime, the strategy of that anonymised fund was that half of the capital was reinvested to build a long-term legacy fund, and half of the gifts were actually spent as she went. And she's now died and left a further legacy in her will together with other people who've donated. And we've now got a 500,000 plus fund in the Berwick area to support local causes. And that's having some really worthwhile impact. And again, we had another client who ended up leaving £2 million to a similar fund for the benefit of local organisations. And again, his focus is that he wants to give 3-year awards for core funding to key organisations in the area so that they can feel more secure about their own position and their own future and the delivery of things to this area. And again, that's, took a year and a half or so of conversation, with ourselves and with the Community Foundation to structure that as he wanted. And it's now starting to have impact in the community.
Yeah, great. And they are two fantastic examples of legacy gifts coming to the Community Foundation and setting up funds that can then, in perpetuity, carry on benefiting those very specific areas that the donor wished in the first place.